Some antagonists have done some pretty evil stuff. Joker poisoned most of Gotham in Arkham City by sending his own deadly blood to emergency hospitals, and Enel destroyed his hometown and attempted to destroy the whole of Skypiea in one piece. You mostly get villains who use their brain or use their brawn, and while the pure muscle approach is always fun to watch, you can do so much damage by just thinking about your next move. Some villains want to rule the world, and some villains just want treasure out of greed or whatnot. And then you get psychopaths, who have no real reason for doing what they do a lot of the time. The thing about psychopaths is they don't look different to normal people and don't act different in most situations. Psychologists at University of London said that 1 in 100 children are psychopathic, and there's a fair chance that you will have walked past one or will walk past at least one in your lifetime. People aren't always what they seem, but it is still surprising when your average Joe has killed thousands. The man I'm talking about is a very unique villain in this episode, and is responsible for the entire world being under the control of aliens and the Resonance Cascade, which is the most important event to ever happen in the Half-Life universe. The person I'm talking about is none other than GMan. Now, let's see what we know about him. We know very little about GMan, sadly, so a lot of this will be guesswork. The one thing we do know is that he obviously works for a government, with the G in his name standing for government, and the M standing for man. We have to wonder though, what government does he work for? GMan supplied a sample crystal known as the GG3883 from an alien world called Zen for Black Mesa, a science research company. The crystal is put into a machine called the anti-mass spectrometer, which is meant to analyse materials, so you can imagine that the scientists were thrilled to get an alien crystal. Basically, when the Zen crystal was analysed, shit went crazy and portal storms hit many places on Earth, causing these Zen creatures to come out. The portals attracted another alien race's attention, the Combine. They arrived in Earth and took over Earth after a war that only lasted 7 hours. If he worked for the world government, there's no reason why he would do this. The way he looks is quite normal for a businessman, but the way he speaks is quite different, as I'll let you hear for yourself.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until... well, let's just say your hour has come again.
There's something not quite right about the way he speaks, as he slurs his words and changes pitch a lot of the time. This is supporting my first theory that he is an alien, and hasn't quite mastered the human tongue yet. There's every possibility that he has taken on a human form. At the end of Half-Life 1 you fight Nihilanth, who is the leader of the Zen forces on Zen, and he says some interesting things while you fight him.
You are man. He is not man. For you he waits for you.
You make very few encounters with humans in Half-Life 1, apart from generic scientists, so there's no one else you could really be talking about other than GMan. Also, at the end of Half-Life 1, once Nihilanth is defeated, surprise surprise, GMan is there waiting for you, and he gives you an offer you can't refuse. Work for him, or death basically. Another thing Nihilanth says is,
The truth. You can never know the truth.
Now this one isn't as clear, but I think he's talking about what GMan actually is planning, and where his allegiance lies. GMan doesn't seem to work for anyone specifically, as he helps Gordon Freeman by telling him where to go a lot of the time, as well as helping the aliens with the whole portal thing. Of course though, he could also be referring to what GMan actually is, like, for example, not human. GMan does things that no human should be able to do, as when he talks to Gordon Freeman it's in some sort of dark location and no one seems to be aware that he is talking to him. Even when you see GMan in the real world, no one reacts to him apart from Eli when a phrase is uttered by Alex, Eli's daughter. This phrase is uttered to her by GMan when she's unconscious. Later on in the game, when he appears on the TV, it triggers this scene.
Prepare for unforeseen consequences.
What did you say?
Dad! Okay. It's okay. Just lean into me. Let's get you off your feet.
Thank you, baby. I'll be fine in a minute or two.
Okay. Do you need anything?
Actually, Alex, would you you mind getting me a cup of tea? There's a hot plate in the old staff room.
I'll be right back. Gordon, just keep an eye on him.
We're not going anywhere. Thank you, baby. Unforeseen consequences. The last time I heard those words was back at Black Mesa. You had just stepped into the test chamber when he whispered them in my ear. You know who I'm talking about. Our mutual friend. When he brought in that crystal, I knew I should have aborted that damn test, but I didn't. The whole world went to hell that day. And now he's using my little girl, putting words in her mouth. God damn it. I should have known when he rescued her it was for his own damn reasons. Gordon, there's so much I need to tell you. Between us, we may finally have a chance of,
Here you go. Is everything all right?
There's nothing, honey.
All right, people, change of...
Just so you know, Eli dies in the newest game, Half-Life 2 Episode 2. I'm guessing this is because he's the only person who seems to be aware of GMan, and has some information that GMan doesn't want Gordon to know. As well as this, in the end of Half-Life 2, GMan freezes time, which is definitely not something normal humans can do. Everything GMan has done in the Half-Life games has gone to plan. The only time it hasn't is when the Vortiguns interrupted GMan talking to Gordon Freeman, but that's basically nothing. We don't really know why GMan has an interest in Gordon Freeman, as it doesn't seem to benefit GMan in any way. We've no idea of what his true intentions are though, and we can really only guess, though if you manage to guess, good job, because it seems to be pretty hard. At the very least, it seems like GMan isn't in charge, and is just an ambassador, despite his powers. Something I think is that everything that's happening in Half-Life is just a test for something that's going to happen later on. These are just theories though, and that's really all we have. If you have any good theories, please leave them in the description, and if you've got any good topics related to the Half-Life universe, again, leave them in the description. If you like the video, please subscribe, because it took a lot of work.